Good afternoon, dear audience. The Price of War is the name of my short presentation. Really short, Mr. Speaker. Maybe an hour, maybe less. I don't know. It's have to be interesting. The title is apt because according to the results of 2022, we already know how much Russia's invasions and occupations will cost for Ukraine. The second portion of my brief is called Forecast of Ukraine Recovery, during which I will show you the calculations we provided for our government about the losses and our macroeconomic forecast for 24-30. My name is Mykhailo Kukhar. I teach the basic course of macroeconomic in leading Ukrainian business school Kyiv, and also senior economist of Ukraine Economic Outlook. Is a Kyiv-based think tank. And just before this conference, we completed our calculations and realized our annual report. Report is on the table already on 300 tables of largest investment banks, governmental organizations, and NGO who subscribed for our forecast. If you are not among them, then please remedy the situation. As you know, about the 20% of Ukrainian territory is occupied, more than 1,000 kilometers is the front line, and Ukraine is a courageous nation. The whole world knows that's now. In every Ukrainian family, and in mine now, sure, someone is on the front. Every day we say goodbye to our heroes who have already deoccupied from the Russian army territory as large as modern Netherlands. We Ukrainians believe in our army, in the support of Europe, in the support of the United States, and Lend-Lease program. Finally, we believe that we will win by the end of this year and return all Ukrainian territories. Wars of this size and destructions usually throw back the economies of countries by at least 2 decades or two. Do you agree? It's a full-scale continental European war. After the war, Ukrainian economy will be like it was early 200s, while neighboring states still living in 2023. What is the real losses on Ukraine? What is the economic suffered? The official data of Ministry of Economy of Ukraine. Real GDP fell by 30%. Nominal GDP in US dollar fell by 21%, from $200 billion to 157 billion last year. The industrial production index fell by 36.9. Ukraine's metallurgy sector suffered the most due to the destroyed factories, you know. It sank by 71%. Agriculture sector, we expecting to lose 40% in 2022-23. Our export fell for 40%. It's a Ukrainian agriculture sector, as I said. It's our export. From 60 billion to 40 billion for the 1 year. You can see at the March, start of the war. Impressive numbers, right? Let me repeat the question. How many years the Ukraine economy lost? I have to tell you the truth, even if you don't believe me. It sounds paradoxical, I know, but actually, Ukraine's economy lost just only 1 year of own economic growth. Have you seen this graph? These more broad pictures of Ukrainian export. We really lost 40% last year, but our export grows by 40% a year before. Yes, Ukrainian GDP fell from 200 billion to 157 billion dollars during the first year of the war. But in the in the 2021, Ukrainian GDP grows from 157 to 200 billion dollars. As I can see, you're surprised. You might have been distracted by media reports about the corruption in Ukraine. You know that the Kremlin paid for these stories and discouraged for investors to buy Ukrainian assets on the low market. But back to our economy. How we can to explain this Ukrainian economic miracle in first year of the war? Sure, war is regarding, and the economy already start to recover. And look again closely to this chart. Our previous period. Our first study of war was 2014, 2015, and Minsk peace agreement after, and our recovering for the last 5 years before this study of full-scale war is plus 114% of growing GDP in the US dollars. Export, as you can see, start to growing last 12 months. And import have been growing for the last 10 months. I think it looks like for the year 2023, it's like pre-war level. It's our predict. Sure, GDP, as you can saw on the previous chart, already growing too. Unemployment is very important question. We cannot correctly calculate unemployment because there are 5 million Ukrainians refugees in Europe and 5 million internally displaced persons inside the country. On the next chart, I'll show you the indicator which show me. As economist, I can say that we find significance. These people find the new job every month. This graph shows average salaries in Ukraine fell from 500 last year to 400 on the lowest extremum. and rebounded by the level current $450 monthly salary. Who is responsible for this economical miracle? Why is the economic development of war-torn country being delayed for only a year, not the decade? Who is the author of this miracle? You are. Your government are. Whole Western world is. Start giving the country with GDP $150 billion, $40 billion every year, and you will see on the monitor this miracle. Falling domestic aggregate demand was replaced by governmental aggregate demand from the governmental side, and our economy still floating and rebounded previous levels last 10-12 months. Sure, it's I'd like to say that any country to come back to the growth, if you will be raining the money from the sky, 40 billion 2 years a row. And this is forecast, but the date from the year 2025, 26, 27 is not completed. We hope it's have to be at least 40 billion every year, according to the previous speakers. I believe in this too. This is true about the current Ukraine macroeconomic situation. And finally, a few words about the purpose you visit here. Sure, we everybody want to know the future. What will happen to Ukraine's economy after victory? In macroeconomics, we call that tennis ball bounce economic recovery. That's happened always, everywhere after wars. I recall to show you the previous ones. Cyprus, Kuwait, Croatia, this is all denominated in US dollars. Hundreds and hundreds percentage points of growing. Always hundreds and hundreds percentage for the 5, 6, at least maximum for the 8 years. Therefore, I hope you will believe me that the last chart when I will show you is a pessimistic forecast for the recovery of Ukrainian economy. Hundreds and hundreds percentage by the year 2030. It's without these 400 billions which told about previous speaker. And our expertise of Ukrainian losses we have to rebuild is 600 billion because previous one higher trend is IMF forecast by the end of last century, and lower we are on this point. Now we have to be in this point, and trend is absolutely typical for Ukraine rebounded after typical economic recession, not the worst. It's not the tennis ball band. It's typical econometric situation for Ukraine. You can see the last 2 recessions on the monitor. I see you, Mr. Chairman. Just 1 minute. I hope About this 100 investors. This is the chart of GDP in US dollars of China, world's largest leader of economic growth last 40 years. And for me, it was interesting to analyze from which level of dollars GDP China has net direct investments for 50 and more billion a year, as Ukraine expected by the end of by the 2030. China has this level when China was a $4 trillion economy. I just can't imagine what will be happening in Ukraine with Ukraine macroeconomic indicators when in country with GDP 150 billions, parting every year $40–50 billion. I think it's have to look by the 2030. It's have to look like Dubai, I know. So, it's the final point. Thank you for your attention. If somebody not our subscribers of our forecast, I leave this QR code here. Thank you, sir.